Hello there, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talkin Fight for another episode of Boxing News today. And let's recap what's happened recently in the ring. We've got quite a few fights to talk about and a couple that are controversial, as of course many. Sorry about that. It's been a while. I realize I've been on vacation. Good to see you again. And I just hit the wrong button. Right on. Oh, here we go. Quick little recap. Here we go. Oh, yes. Let's fly over to Wales. Start our show off today with 2020 Olympic gold medalist Lauren Price. She's now undefeated. She dethroned former undisputed female welterweight champion Jessica McCaskill, who's now sporting a record of 12-4-1 with 5 knockouts. And in the process, Price claimed the WBA title by 8-round technical decision, and that took place at the Utilita Arena over in Cardiff. McCaskill tried to make it a brawl, apparently, but Price was always a step ahead, and the bout was sent to the judges' card at the start of round 9 due to a swelling caused to a cut over McCaskill's left eye, and the scores were 90-82 by all 3 judges. Elsewhere on that card, last name we're well familiar with, Fury. Heavyweight, though, Hughie Fury. He's now 28-3, 16 knockouts. Cousin of WBC heavyweight champ Tyson Fury scored the second round technical knockout over Patrick Corte. Corte is now 21-4-1, and a barrage of punches prompted a referee's stoppage at 2 minutes 6 seconds, as I said, of the second round. Let's move along to Vasiliy Lomachenko. A lot of you following that fight against a chap from down under, George Kambosos Jr. Former 3-weight world champion Lomachenko, 18-3, 13 knockouts, scored an 11th round knockout against former unified champion George Kambosos Jr., 21-3, to claim the vacant IBF lightweight title over at the RAC Arena in Perth, Western Australia. Loma befuddled Kambosos apparently with his movement and progressively broke him down. Loma dropped Kambosos twice in round 11 to end it at 2 minutes 49 seconds. There was also a clash between Pedro Guevara, who scored a 12th round split decision over Andrew Maloney, and a little bit more on that later, and in the process claimed the vacant WBC interim super flyweight title. And speaking of controversy, but in a somewhat comedic way, the fight, as you all know, I'm a big fan of Cherneka Johnson, and she was battling Nina Hughes and won. Previously unbeaten WBA female bantamweight champ Nina Hughes, by the way. Anyway, it was a 10-round majority decision, and Hughes was originally declared the winner by the ring announcer, Lieutenant Dan Hennessy. However, the score was announced again moments later, with Johnson winning, and her hands raised in proper fashion with the scores of 95-95, 96-94, 98-92. Also on that card, we saw Jaime Ohio, a technical knockout victory over Lucas Brown in the heavyweight division. Another heavyweight division victory for Joseph Goodall, who fought Viega Opelu. And in the light heavyweight division, opening up the card, Iman Katiev knocked out in round number 6 Ricard Bolotniks, a name we used to speak of quite. I haven't heard that guy in a while. Anyway, he lost to Iman Katiev. All right, let's move over to what I said was the interesting stories and outcome of that loss he suffered. Andrew Maloney, after split decision loss to Pedro Guevara, he basically announced his retirement in rather emphatic way. He said, "I'm done with this sport." As a matter of fact, and to quote him, he said, "This is the last you'll see of me. I want to thank my sponsors. I'm retired. I'm out. I love you all, but sorry, fuck that. I felt in total control. I did what I had to do in there tonight to get the win. I don't want to make excuses, but I went to this fight with torn bicep, so I couldn't throw the left hook unless I needed to, but I didn't feel like I needed to throw it because I was in total control." And this was in his interview with ESPN, by the way, after the fight, and doubled down on his desire to walk away from the sport. He said, "Honestly, I should say I'm shocked, but I've been here before in the sport. It's corrupt as anything. I thought I won 10 rounds to 2. I should have been walking home with that belt. I've given my life to the sport for 20 years. That's twice they've ripped me off for a world title. I'm done with the sport because it's corrupt and I can't do anything more than I've already done. Out. Wow. All right, let's move along to another down under boxer, this time female, a Maori out of New Zealand. Her name is Tinta Smith. We've talked about her a few times in the same vein as Miyamoto and some other great New Zealand boxers in the female division. Anyway, she's tried several times to become New Zealand's national champion at the cruiserweight division. You might recall in March she fought Trish Vaca for that first ever right to claim the national championship in the cruiserweight division, but it ended in a draw. You might recall after the fight, the gym tried to claim both Tinta and Trish as a double champion. However, as we all know in professional boxing, you need a clear winner to become champion, not a winner by draw. So off goes Tinta to fight very recently against heavyweight champ, by the way, Sakita Hemingway. Now, she's a former rugby player, tough girl, and she was looking for a two-time belt. Anyway, let's have a quick look here at what happened. The fight, Tinta Smith against Hemingway, was for the vacant New Zealand national cruiserweight title. Okay, Smith wanting to win her first professional title, and Hemingway wanting to become that two-division champ. Okay, apparently a very, very entertaining fight. Indicating, of course, as we all know, styles make fights, and this fight was very stylish, apparently. Nonetheless, it went to the judges' scorecards, and after 8 rounds of boxing, the judges scored the fight a split decision, with 1 judge scoring for Hemingway and 2 judges scoring for Smith. So, thus, Tinta Smith was declared winner, although that fight was very close, and some saw it as a controversial decision. So, controversy reigning supreme on this particular episode today. Undefeated super middleweight Junior Younan, 20-0-1 with 12 knockouts, scored a highlight reel first round knockout victory over Ricardo Adrian Luna. Hit YouTube up for this one. 26-12-1. 26-12-2 now for Luna to capture. Younan captured in the process the vacant WBA Continental America Gold title, and that took place at the Paramount Theater down in Huntington, New York. And that knockout came at 2 minutes, 53 seconds in the first round. And Younan, in the process, won his star boxing debut. Congratulations, that young man. 20-0-1. Rocky Hernandez returns to the ring and wins with a technical knockout. All Action WBC number 3 super featherweight Eduardo Rocky Hernandez. He's now 35-2, 32 knockouts. Scored a 7th round technical knockout over Daniel Lugo, 27-3-1. That took place at the Palenque de la Feria Aguascalientes in Mexico. Lugo hurt Hernandez in round number 3, but Rocky woke up after that, pressing the action and beating up Lugo the rest of the way, with the referee finally waving off at 2 minutes, 17 seconds of round number 7. And Hernandez was a round away from winning the WBC title last October, you might remember, from when he fought O'Shaquie Foster before being stopped in that final round. A great fight indeed that was. We also saw in that particular fight WBA female super bantamweight champ Erica Cruz, who we mentioned a lot. She's 17-2-1, 3 knockouts. An unbeaten mandatory challenger Nazrina Romero, 13-0-2, and they battled to a 10-round draw. So good news for Erica Cruz. Keep on going, girl. Right on. Let's move along to Bob Arum. Why not? I mean, we could talk about that other guy from Britain. What's his name? Oh, yeah, Eddie Hearn, but we're not going to. Promoter Bob Arum has 3 possible options for Vasiliy Lomachenko after his victory over George Kambosos Jr. Down in Perth, Australia. The 3 fighters that Bob Arum mentioned as possibilities for the IBF lightweight champ. As we all know, his name's Loma. Gervonta Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Emmanuel Navarrete. Wow. And Bob Arum mentioned his preferences, Shakur Stevenson. So we'll see where it goes. Arum's keen on Lomachenko, 18-3, by the way, 12 knockouts, fighting WBC lightweight champ Shakur Stevenson next. And the reasons are obvious. Shakur's contract with Top Rank ends July 6th with his title defense against Tunyan. So you got your contractual considerations, title retention, and the long-term implications. So it doesn't matter to me. Those seem like all great fights to be had. Emmanuel Navarrete, by the way, is looking forward to his next fight coming up very shortly when he's looking to capture the vacant WBO lightweight title against unbeaten Denis Berinchyk. It's going to be main event. Yeah, the main event taking place at the Pachanka Arena in San Diego, California. It's going to be shown on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Navarrete, by the way, he's 38-1-1, 31 knockouts. He's going to take on number one ranked WBO Berinchyk. He's 18-0, undefeated, 9 knockouts for that vacant 135-pound belt. The 29-year-old Navarrete was able to use his status as the WBO super featherweight champ to get a straight shot at the lightweight title with that organization. If Navarrete loses, he'll likely return to 130 and resume defending that belt. That's a difficult fight for Navarrete with taking on the 2012 Olympic silver medalist Berinchyk. So a good fight. Looking forward to it this weekend. Speaking of great fighters and great fights, let's talk about that great Canadian fighter, Lennox Lewis, who won a gold medal for Canada back in the Olympics, then moved back to his birthplace, Britain, where he went on to a fantastic professional career, becoming an undisputed heavyweight champ. And, as we all know, we all talk about it, that 25-year reign is about to end when Tyson Fury meets Alexander Usyk in the ring coming up in Saudi Arabia shortly. And the winner of that particular fight will be undisputed. Anyway, Lennox Lewis, he was the last undisputed heavyweight champ after he beat Evander Holyfield in 1999. Wow. Hard to believe it's that long ago, but that when I mentioned that year, it just doesn't seem that long ago. 1999, I remember it well. It's certainly true. If one applies the dictionary definition to undisputed, nobody disputed Lewis was the best. After all, grew up in Canada, trained in Canada, went on to win the gold for Canada, and then moved over to his birthplace of England and continued his career as a professional and had an exceptional career, without a doubt. Great guy. Anyway, in this 4-belt era, one needs to win all 4 belts to be regarded as undisputed. And Lewis held the WBC, WBA, and IBF titles. Didn't have 4 belts, actually. But nevertheless, let's have a quick see if he's got a quote here. We haven't had one heavyweight champ who's universally recognized as such undisputed as Lewis was 20 years ago. He says ludicrous, and Lewis agreed it was absolutely ludicrous. When asked whether the 4-belt era have proved something of a hindrance. To me, it's all about the money, he said. I understand it's business, but to tell the truth, don't put the facade in there, wipe it away and tell the truth. Tell it how it really is. We shouldn't be surprised it's taken so long for an undisputed fight because, when you put all the belts together, a lot of promoters don't like that because all the belts are in one place and they don't get to bring their guy around to make money. For them, it is better that the belts are split up. For the organizations, they don't want that either. They want to be able to move around. The only ones who want undisputed are the guys who are boxing for it and working towards it. True words. Regardless, even if announcements about how long it's taken to get to this point should stick in the throat somewhat, we're right to be excited that the all-conquering fight is last upon us, because for a while back there, as the 2 Klitschko brothers ruled concurrently, thus vetoing any hope of one king, and fights like Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and then Fury fighting Joshua failed to materialize, felt like it would never happen. For boxing to truly thrive, one recognizable world heavyweight champion is a must. They often call the heavyweight division the glamour division, and this is, in fact, a reality. It does attract the big money, and the Saudi Arabian kingdom is certainly throwing a lot of money at these guys to fight it out, and there's a great undercard to be had as well. Anyway, Lennox Lewis continues. I think everyone wants to be number one, and we've had a bunch of guys try to be number one. Now we have two undefeated guys, and they have to face each other. When you box, there can only be one champion, as I pointed out earlier, and we will see who is the champion. So he had something else to say too. Let me just say, this is all on boxingscene.com. My good friends over there writing about Lennox Lewis and what his thoughts are on the unbeaten status. Ultimately, though it stung at the time, the criticism made him stronger, as did the addition of legendary trainer and then HBO analyst Emmanuel Stewart. Is very frustrating, said Lewis. Very frustrating, really frustrating, when recalling back his earlier failure to impress the HBO pundits. When I learned from that was a lot of commentators were like, he's not jabbing enough, he doesn't have the killer instinct. But all of it changed when I got Emmanuel Stewart in my corner. All the HBO commentators started saying, oh, he's doing well, his jab is good. Manny and the commentators would talk and ask, what do you think of his jab? It's not working. And Manny would say, don't worry, it's coming. I aim to do that in each fight. Improve. Even George Foreman helped me do that. I'm listening to everyone, he said. He said he should step into his jab. And I listened to him. I went back in the gym and started practicing it. I wanted to improve my jab. I wanted them to say, this guy's got a great jab, and not, he doesn't throw his jab enough. Anyway, so, everyone has their challenges with both the criticism they receive from outside the ring, but nonetheless, they step into the ring alone to fight on their own, bravely, after having trained for so many months, so many years to get to that level. Let's appreciate that fact. There aren't many people who can say it's a team sport, although, quite frankly, the richest of the rich will be able to hire a team to support them. However, when you're starting out, you're pretty well on your own, as we all know. Anyway, Lennox Lewis concluded, I've been the undisputed champion for 25 years. Now I challenge the new heavyweight champion to hold the title for the length of time that I did. That's one heck of a challenge. He's looking into the future. Let's conclude the show with a bit of sad news. Indeed. Oh, boy. So a young boxer out of Britain, Sharif Lawal, died in hospital after collapsing in the ring, making his debut in the ring, I might add. He was a member of the St. Pancras Amateur Boxing Club in the UK, and tributes have certainly been pouring in for the past few days. Sad news for sure. No news on what actually caused him to collapse and eventually die. Might have had something to do with his heart, because I understand they were doing some CPR, it looks, in the ring. Nonetheless, sad news out of the UK, sad news for boxing. Yet another fighter has died, giving his all for the sport of boxing. Keep that in mind. Thank you very much for joining me here on Talkin Fight. I appreciate it very much. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for me, and we'll see you later on. And now I'll hit the right button and end the show. See you again. Oh, tomorrow I got a special guest joining me, a sports psychologist who's written a great book. And although it's about team sports in general, he has worked with individual athletes such as boxers and UFC fighters. I'll be happy to introduce him tomorrow when he comes on the show and joins me and provides his insight into the mindset of a fighter when he and she enters the ring. See you tomorrow.